Hello students, welcome to my YouTube channel MBA Shala. In this video, I am going to explain you accept reject criterion under capital budgeting techniques. Like you all know, capital budgeting techniques are used to evaluate all long-term investment decisions. So we apply 5 different types of capital budgeting techniques to evaluate investment proposals. So, after applying these techniques, how a financial manager will take the decision whether to go with the investment proposal or not. So, one by one, I will explain you in this video. The first one is PBP, that is payback period method. Payback period means, I have already explained you about this in my previous video. So, it is the time taken by any investment proposal to repay you your initial investment. So in this case, in accept reject criterion, for example, you have independent project, means a single project. So accepting this or rejecting this purely depends upon payback period. For example, in any question, say payback period is say some 5 years, and organizations usually they determine some standard payback period, say some 8 years. So what does it mean? The standard payback period means if any project's payback period is 8 years or less than 8 years, those projects will be acceptable. That is the meaning. And in this case, as your calculated payback period of this project is 5 years, which is less than 8 years, this project is acceptable. And in any case, if payback period is more than 8 years, say 10 years, 12 years, like that, they are summarily rejected. And in some cases, mutually exclusive means you have different project proposals, A, B, C, and so on. So you have to separately calculate payback period for each one of these projects. For example, project A is having some 4 years, 3 years, and 6 years as payback period. Out of these 3, project B is having less payback period, which means that the earlier you get the investment amount, that will be better for the organization. So it is acceptable, and the remaining 2 are rejected. So under payback period, independent projects payback period is calculated, and that will be compared with standard payback period. And this is one of the limitation of payback period also. Experts says that what is the basis for any organization to determine this standard payback period. So that's why this is one of the limitation for payback period. Now let us discuss about the second technique, that is ARR under traditional techniques of capital budgeting. So ARR is that return on an average you get within the duration, within the life period of project. On an average, it's calculated in terms of percentage. And this ARR usually companies, they will have some cutoff rate. So in case of independent project proposals, suppose project A has got some 15% ARR, and suppose company's cutoff rate is say 25%. So this project A is giving you less return when compared to your cutoff rate, therefore this is rejected. And in case if your project's ARR is greater than 25%, then such projects will be accepted. So this is relating to independent projects. And similarly, when you have mutually exclusive projects, that means out of some 2 or 3 or 4 projects, if you have to choose any one, then in that case, how will you take decision? So A, B, C. Project A is giving you some 15% ARR, 25% and 45%. Obviously, project C will be accepted because it is giving you maximum return in terms of percentage. So in case of ARR, this is how decisions will be taken by financial manager. And then net present value. So these three are discounted cash flow techniques. So in net present value, what is net present value? It is the difference between present value of cost of project and present value of cash inflows. If NPV is positive, projects will be accepted. If NPV is negative, projects will be rejected. So this we will follow in case of independent projects. In case of mutually exclusive projects, where for example project A, project B, for these two projects you have calculated NPV. Suppose project A is giving you plus 25,402 rupees and project B is giving you plus 48,252 rupees. So out of these two, project B is giving you more return. Therefore, since NPV of project B is greater than project A, B is accepted, right? So under NPV, we will take decisions on the basis of this criterion. And then IRR. What is this internal rate of return? It is nothing but that discount rate at which present value of cost of project would be equal to present value of cash inflows. Or in simple terms, we can say that we can define this as at that interest rate where NPV would be equal to 0. And after calculating this IRR, we have to compare this with cost of capital or discounted rate. If IRR is greater than cost of capital, those projects will be accepted. If it is less than cost of capital, those projects would be rejected. And the last one, PI, which is Profitability Index. So Profitability Index is the ratio between present value of cash inflows and present value of cost of project. And if Profitability Index is greater than 1, then projects will be accepted. If it is less than 1, projects would be rejected. So this is how a financial manager will decide whether to accept a project or reject a project by applying these techniques: payback period, ARR, NPV, IRR and PI. Hope this video is useful for you. Thank you for listening. Keep watching. All the best.